we've got an unboxing and we've got a new optic that I'm super excited about. This was sent out to the channel by Gideon Optics. This is their new Mediator, and this is their first enclosed emitter red dot. Now let's get this out of the package and see what all comes in the box. Alright, one thing I wanted to cover real quick: when you do order an optic now from Gideon Optics, these are the boxes that they will come in. You guys have seen me do a couple other reviews on a couple of their other optics, and they were kind of in a generic box, and at that time that's what they were sending out for promotion purposes. But these are what the finished box is going to look like. And you look here on the side, it will show you whether you did get it in red or green, and a bunch of stuff about the optic. So we got the top comes off, got the nice foam padding here on top, get a lens cleaning cloth, you do get a Gideon Optics sticker, and you do get the instruction manual. Very cool. Over here you've got a flathead screwdriver, two-sided. And then here we have a Torx wrench. Here we have the optic. It is in a Ziploc style bag. And that is everything in the box. Alright, here is our optic. It's a nice looking dot. Now real quick, I want to get into something because people are going to probably throw a little bit of a fit over it, but I want to explain to you what the reasoning behind it is. So when you get this dot, it has this co-witness mount, but you can mount this optic on a pistol, but you are going to have to buy an adapter plate. Now a lot of people I've talked to already were kind of like, why didn't they send it with a plate? Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. One, this dot has the acro footprint. Now the optic plate that I ordered from Primary Machine is an RMR to acro footprint plate. But a lot of people are going to be putting these on Glocks, and if they do that, they're going to have to use an MOS to acro plate. And some people are going to be using different footprints like Vortex, things like that. So in order for them, they would have to send this with at least 3 different of the most popular plates that are out there. You would have to have RMR to acro, the Doctor to acro, and the MOS to acro. So if you do want to put this optic on a handgun, you will have to order a plate. And Primary Machine was the only company that had anything in stock that was RMR to acro. So I just wanted to cover that real quick before we go diving into this dot. Well, let's dive right into this dot. So the lens on this, it is a 16 millimeter lens. Your overall length on this is 47 millimeters. It is 35 millimeters high with a 32 millimeter width on this. Now it's got a lot of metal built up around the lenses, which should keep them pretty well protected. And this is 7075 T6 aircraft grade aluminum. Alright, I removed the optic from the co-witness mount, and like I said, this does have the acro footprint. I'll show you that here on the bottom. But this is what the size of the dot looks like off of the mount. Now the Mediator is IPX7 waterproof. It does have shake awake, and it will go to sleep after it's sitting still for 225 seconds. And Bob was on a live stream the other night from Gideon Optics, and he said it's super sensitive. So if you want to test that, you're going to have to make sure it's sitting on something perfectly still, and then just give it a little tap and it will come back on. Now I have tested that on this one, and it does work. Now the Mediator is parallax free up to 33 yards, and it does have a side load battery right here on the side, and it does run on your common CR2032 battery. And look at that, Gideon actually sends it with good batteries in it. This has got an Energizer, so that's very cool. Most of them do not send them with the good batteries. Now your windage and elevation controls on this, they are 1 MOA per click, and we're going to test those, see how tactile and audible they are here in a second. And you do have a 45 MOA total range of adjustment on your elevation and on your windage. Alright, I grabbed the screwdriver that came with it, and let's see how tactile these are. Well, I'd say they're pretty tactile. I'm going to have to turn it. I'm going to use this one. Oh yeah. Nice clicks. Very audible. They are not mushy. I like that. Very nice. Alright, it's time to start talking about the dots. So let me get this on. Just hold your plus down and it will turn on. Hold your minus down and it will turn off. Takes about 3 to 4 seconds for that to shut off. So let's get it back on. And it's a pretty crisp dot. It's starbursting a little bit on me here on the white background, but it will definitely get better once it's outside and I get my Hunter's HD gold glasses on. But I do have astigmatism. We talk about that all the time here on the channel. So this is not any fault of the dot. Now one other cool thing about this, the Mediator does have multi-reticle system. So you have your dot, you have a circle, so you're not going to be able to pick this up on camera, and you also have the dot circle. So you can run this with just a dot or just the circle, or you can run it with the dot and circle together. And speaking of that, the red dot on this is 3 MOA, and it has a 38 MOA circle around the dot. So all the production models now of the Gideons that do have the multi-reticle system, you can switch back and forth from the dot to the circle or the circle dot. Because when you guys saw me review the Omega, it was a pre-production model and it just had the circle and dot. But if you do buy that optic now, it will also have the multi-reticle system that you can switch between the dot, the circle, and the circle and the dot. Now, as far as the brightness of the dot goes, there are 10 brightness settings, and 2 of those are actually NV settings. So it is plenty bright inside. We'll just have to see how it is when we get it out. I'm going to go ahead and grab another camera and set this up and show you guys the different reticles and how clean the dot is. Alright, there is your circle and dot. There is just the dot. And there is just the circle. Alright, I'm going to go grab the acro plate, get that mounted on the gun this is going to go on, and then I'll show you what it looks like mounted on the gun. Alright, I got the plate, the RMR to acro plate from Primary Machine, mounted to my G3 tactical slide. And this is something that I really want you guys to pay attention to. I ordered the wrong plate. The Gideon Optics is going to take a double cut acro plate. C&H Precision makes one of these, and Strike Industries, from what I can tell on their website, is double cut. If you look at the acro footprint, you're flat on one side and beveled on this side, and that's what bites into that plate. The problem was the way this works. When I went to mount this up, the bevel's on this side and it was flat on this side, and I need the bevel on this side. So I got a hold of Bob over at Gideon Optics, and their communication skills over there are great customer service. He called me right away on the phone. We talked about what was going on, and they have been testing this on handguns at Gideon. And they are using the C&H precision plate, which is another really good one. Now, I was able to make this work. I went in and beveled out the flat part, and if you look down through there, you can see now I've cut my own 45 degree across there, and this thing sits nice and tight now. I possibly ordered the wrong plate from Primary Machine. There were two options, but the way I was reading it, I thought it was height things. One was 1.5, one was 2.0. But it's possible that maybe the one that I didn't order is the right one. I don't know. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to order a plate to put the Gideon Mediator on a pistol, make sure you order the plate from C&H Precision or get the one from Strike Industries. And I want to give a big shout out to Gideon Optics for getting back to me right away, talking to me about this, and letting me know that they are not having issues with theirs at the shop. I think this might have just been on me. I might have ordered the wrong plate. But anyway, it's going to work now. Let me get this mounted up. I'll bring it back, show you what it looks like. One other thing I forgot to mention, when you mount these plates, 18-inch pounds is what I use with blue Loctite. That's what I use on all my optics, and they all seem to work great. So just wanted to throw that in there. Alright, I got this mounted up, and the gun is clear. I'll drop the mag out, nothing in the chamber. Magazine's empty. I just wanted to put this back in to show you what it looks like. Yeah, this thing's sitting nice and flush now. If you look down there, the actual optic is now biting into that rail where I beveled it. So I think we're going to be in good shape. That thing is big on the G3 Tactical. Some people are going to like it, some people are going to hate it. One other thing I want you to keep in mind, I do have suppressor height sights on this, and with all the other optics I've run before, I can co-witness through the dot. Now I cannot do it with this Gideon, and the reason being, Taurus does use the Toro system, so I've got another plate right under this plate, and a lot of people don't like that either. I can't direct mount the RMR to acro plate directly to the slide. I have to have this plate on here. Now, if you didn't have the plate, let's say you were going to put this on an RMR cut slide, then you shouldn't have any problems co-witnessing through here. I can just almost co-witness, but this needs to be down a little bit more, and if that plate wasn't here, it would co-witness, but it's not the case with this. So anyway, I want to thank Gideon Optics for sending that out to the channel. I want to thank them for, taking my call and explaining to them what I had going on here and figuring out that C&H Precision and Strike Industries both make a double cut acro plate because that's what you're going to need. Luckily, I'm pretty handy and I was able to make this plate work, so I didn't waste a bunch of money. So in the next video, we'll take it out to the range, have some fun, shoot a bunch of rounds, and I'll let you know what I think about the Gideon Optics Mediator. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.